Coming up, we're going to talk about how you can leverage success and move your career up just with social media and grow that business too with my special guest, Jasmine Starr. We're taking your questions. And here's the good news. It starts right now. All right. We're coming to you live from our Ramsey Solutions studios in Nashville. You've joined the conversation here on the Ken Coleman Show. And as you can see, the view has gotten much better since yesterday's show. My friend, superstar entrepreneur, social media guru, world-class photographer, and so many more things that I don't have time to reveal. Jasmine Starr joining me live in the studio. Jasmine, welcome to the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. I am so happy to be here. I brought the heat.
You did.
I brought the heat to Nashville. We're going to be bringing the heat to these phone calls. I just appreciate you. Thank you, friend. Thank you.
I got to tell you, you are awesome. You're a friend, and you're somebody that I really, really respect. And so we're very excited to have this special edition of the show, because what I want you to know is you've got an extra voice, an extra coach today here in the studio. So we're going to talk a little bit about what she's really good at coaching other people to do. And then we open up the phone lines. So the show hasn't changed. It just got better. 844-747-2577. That's the number. 844-747-2577. Now let me set up the context. As we talk every day on the show around the one simple belief that we're about, which is you were created to fill a unique role. You are needed. You must do it. We're talking about moving up into that purpose where work is no longer a job. You make the money you want to make and the impact, right? Income, impact, money, meaning. Well, Jasmine knows a lot about that. And so we're going to talk today about specific strategies. How do you take social media, which isn't going anywhere, and how do you grow yourself? How do you grow your business? Some of you out there, you've got a side hustle you just started recently. You got a side hustle that's doing pretty well, but you want to grow it. You just have an idea and you're afraid to launch it. That's what we're going to talk about. How do you just take some simple tactics and absolutely grow yourself? So before we dive into that, Jasmine, let's talk about your journey real quick, because I want people to get to know you. So you started in photography.
I did.
And you got an eye. You're good at it. You were good at it.
Well, nobody starts good.
Oh, no.
Every
you
professional.
were terrible.
I was terrible.
I don't want you to get a big head. You were awful just like me when I started radio.
As anybody who starts anything for the first time, we are all collectively terrible. Everybody starts an amateur before they're a professional.
That's right.
So,
but you embraced the suck.
Absolutely.
And you started doing it.
Absolutely.
So fast forward is from that season to now what you're doing and how that evolved, because that's what I want people to hear. It's not where you start, it's where you are now.
Absolutely. And I think it's super important for us to actually talk about every iteration, because I don't think that you start off with where you are right now. So anybody who's listening and they're like, it's not working out the way that I expected or the way that I wanted, it probably won't. But everything is guiding you to the thing that you should be doing. And every iteration of my life and career, I was always the uneducated, unconnected, underfunded, all the unders. And yet people who are persistent and people who are persevere and people who are willing to get back up after getting knocked down. That's the whole thing, Ken, because we could sit here and talk about the different iterations of my career. Currently, as of today, I am CEO and co-founder of Social Curator, which is a tech company. Not bad for a brown girl from the hood, first generation Latina coming up without having an educated family or ever having a silver spoon. But the iteration started off with, I started my career with a Best Buy camera. And
do you remember how much it cost?
Well, actually, my husband bought it for me.
Come on.
And it was a gift. It was a gift.
Okay.
It was a gift. And I think it was about $900, which was a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Of course it is.
But to start off as a professional photographer, I would go to these shoots and there would be people with nicer cameras than the people who hired me to document the event. I mean, it was kind of just like, you were always, I always championed the underdog. Yeah. Because the underdog has a good story and the underdog is relentless. Yeah. And so I think that you sharpen your teeth by every opportunity that doesn't work out the way that you're supposed to.
I love it. She is Jasmine Starr, CEO, founder of Social Curator. She's an absolute force of nature. Let's talk about that for a second. You show up at these events with your $900 camera and there's other people with all the nicer stuff. Boy, that's like bathing in doubt. Yes. What kept you going? What kept you from walking off the set going, I am a total fraud?
When you think about the alternative.
Ooh.
I think that we all, regardless of regardless of what options we have, there's a choice to pursue the thing that you want. And whatever choice that I pursued, whatever choice you pursue, people are going to have opinions. Because people are going to have opinions about you if you decide to run a marathon or you decide to sit on your couch. They're going to have opinions about you if you build a business or you don't. They're going to have opinions about you based on the camera that you have. It's not as nice or it's way too nice. So if people are going to have an opinion anyway, and people's opinions don't pay our bills, clients do, why not choose the thing with reckless abandon to get us to where we want to go?
Oh, it's so good. 844-747-2577. You got a question for Jasmine? Hey, you want a different perspective? I'm telling you, but somebody's watching right now. You got to call.
You have to prepare their hearts, because I deal it to you straight, no shooter. Like, I just speak the truth.
They can handle it.
Okay.
They can handle it. We don't deal in niceties. We deal in facts. We do heart surgery on this show. They can handle it.
I brought my scalpel.
I know. You're ready to go. 844-747-2577. Here's the deal. She knows what the journey is like. She knows what you're thinking, and I promise you she knows what you're feeling. Here's another fun wrinkle. She and her husband are in business together. How many married couples out there, can we do this? What are the challenges? What have they faced? What are they facing? How did they pivot? What roles do they play? There's so much that she can answer today, and we'll jump in together to help you. 844-747-2577. Okay, let's pivot. So the photography business obviously is where you got started.
Correct.
What were the beginnings of what is now Social Curator, where you're helping businesses grow, entrepreneurs craft a vision, but not just that, but grow their brand? How did that develop?
I think it's very important. A lot of the responses that I'll give to questions are going to be rooted in what I firmly know to be true with a capital T, is that your brand is not necessarily how Seth Godin defines it. Actually, it is how Seth Godin defines it. It's a series of set and expectations and stories that a consumer uses to choose one business over another. But the ghetto, like the hood version of a brand,
I like this,
is what somebody says when you're not in the room.
Yeah.
And so that's something we all have. And so I know people will say, oh, Jasmine is an expert on social media. Well, actually, I'm an expert on using anything that's free to get people to talk about my business. And so in 2006 and 2007, 2008, I was blogging. I was blogging before I had a website. I was blogging before anybody considered me a professional. And so all of a sudden, when these free platforms came out to extend the division of the business, it wasn't I know how to use Instagram or I know how to use Facebook. It's I know how to convey who I am and the value that I create for the end user out on free social platforms. So Ken, if you were to tell me that in 2022, what happens in 2022 is the way that you get customers to your business is to buy 2 ponies, dress as a clown, and wear a kazoo, or bang on a kazoo. I would be bringing out that kazoo. You're right. So all I teach people to do is how do you make somebody feel, think, or say something about your business in a free way. That is my only objective, and it always goes back to, listen, you're trying to make $1 out of 15 cents when you're starting your business. When you get somebody to talk about you, that is the finest form of marketing ever to exist. And I've found different ways to leverage it on a budget.
Okay, so I love this. All right, so defining the brand that way, I want you to teach a little bit on personal brand and also company brand. So if I love your ghetto version, it's what people say about you when you aren't in the room. So let's just go back. What if a person doesn't even know what others are saying? And then how do they come in and go, okay, I don't even know, number one, and then now I've got to craft what I want people to say. Talk to us about that.
So first things first, if you don't know what people are saying, it's probably likely that you're not in control of the narrative. You got to give them something to talk about. That's what social media, that's what blogging does. It's you give somebody the ability to have an opinion. And so often the thing that stops us on any outlet is when we give somebody the ability to have an opinion about us, we let their opinion affect our decisions. When it should be, we should just putting it out. And for the small group of people who will like it or identify, those are going to be the people who are allegiant. Dale Carnegie said it best. Your business will go farther being genuinely interested in 2 other people than trying to get 200 people interested in you. So our only objective is, I don't know what to get people to talk about. What are you passionate about? How are you monetizing it? And how do you make somebody's life better, easier, richer, faster? By sharing what you know, building trust. And they say, that Ken Coleman guy, he has a show and he just gives amazing advice. That right there is the start of your personal brand. And it doesn't cost a penny. It just costs time.
See, now this is really great. She's Jasmine Starr. So here's what I want the audience to hear. There is a focus right now on, hey, this is what I love to do. And I know that what I love to do is also creating a result that matters to me. So that's the product or service. So if you just focus on that and confidently share, this can solve your problem, this can meet your desire. Now all of a sudden we've got the beginning points of a real brand.
Absolutely. And a lot of times what's been happening is the greatest mistake that we see, at least from my perspective, what's happening on social media, but in marketing in general, is if you're marketing your business on what your business does versus how it benefits your customer, you're missing the vast majority.
All right. So we're going to hit the brakes. You got to hear that again. Why is that the temptation? What is the two-part question? Safety? They just want to talk about what we do.
What we do.
Are they scared to kind of stand behind what they...
100%.
Okay.
So
why?
Because
what's going on there?
It's the kernel is stories that we have told ourselves from childhood that somebody's better, quicker, smarter.
That's it.
Other advantages that you might be too black, too white, too brown, too old, too young, too female, too male, everything in the in-between. We would rather look at excuses instead of reasons. Yeah. And so what we first have to address is I'm not even saying quite yet that you must talk about yourself, but if you sell erasers, I can't say that this eraser is the best eraser. There's a lot of other erasers out there. If I'm selling this eraser, I can't talk about what it does, how much it weighs, because there's a lot of competition. If I were to create content like, Ken, this eraser makes your life easier. 3 tips to use this eraser. Why this eraser is a benefit to what it is that you want and how it solves that messy pencil solution. All of a sudden, I'm creating content that helps you by way of something I'm selling. Not saying, this eraser's great, buy it. Nobody will buy it. You have to empower them to have an opinion about what it is you do, create helpful content, have them build trust, and it positions you to be an industry authority. Yeah,
that's as simple as it gets. And I love the psychology behind that. You're exactly right. We feel more comfortable telling you what we do versus how it's going to help you, because we're so worried that we're going to be rejected.
Absolutely.
Or that we might fail them. But here's the deal. Talk about failure and rejection as you started Social Curator, because you're out there testing stuff. But what I love about what you're doing, you're putting stuff out every day that you're going, I believe this is going to help you. What's developed that confidence muscle where you go, I'm pretty confident this is going to help, and I'm going to put a video out going, these 3 things, or if you pay me to do this, it's going to work.
I put out content not on the assumption that somebody will pay me. I put out content simply to build trust.
Right, but it'll help people. But you have a confidence. You wouldn't put it out if you didn't believe, this is going to help somebody.
Well, I'm a practitioner.
There's what I'm driving at.
I eat my cake far before I ever serve it.
There we go.
So I think if you are selling running shoes, and you're not wearing your running shoes, you have a hard time selling them shoes. So yeah, I put my money where my mouth is.
That's what I wanted you to hear, folks. Like, she's not just sitting around on the couch concepting content. It's coming from a place of proof. You've proved it to you.
And furthermore, Ken, when I put out a piece of content, there are some pieces of content that just tank. They go down gloriously in the toilet. Yeah. And I do not take it personally. I don't say, oh, the algorithm's out to get me. Oh, my product or service is terrible. I simply say the market didn't respond. Guess what, Buttercup? Stand up again and try again tomorrow. That's it. And every piece of content, everything that you put out, the market will help you shape it. The more you put out. Because, Ken, you and I could start at 0. But what happens is that the more the market speaks to us, the sharper our offer becomes. The more skilled we become at sales, simply because the market is telling us what they want. Right. So people who are saying, well, I have to wait until I get it, it gets out perfect. I've always said that perfection is procrastination in disguise. That we think that something is perfect when perfection is entirely subjective. Yeah. Have you ever put out a post or written a blog post, anything at all, and you think, this is going to kill?
100%.
You spend like 45 minutes and you're like pontificating. You wait
for the likes.
Oh yeah. You push post and you're like, boom. And then nothing happens.
So true.
And then all of a sudden you're in a rush.
Yeah.
You're picking up your kids and you have like 5 minutes or get something out. And then all of a sudden, a total tidal wave of support. And you're just like, wait, what? It's subjectivity. So in my mind, if we know it's subjective, our objective should be to put out so much that it lessens the possibility of it not doing well, simply because the market has guided us again and again and again. Yeah.
Well, it's so good. She is Jasmine Starr. She is joining me here on the show today to take your calls. 844-747-2577, the founder of Social Curator. Before we get to the phones, I do want to talk about what you have learned about social media and brand building on the personal side of things. Employers are increasingly going to TikTok and Instagram and of course Facebook and kind of seeing what your life is like, what you look like on social. If you were going to give a couple of thoughts for somebody on how to leverage that free medium that you're talking about to build their brand, that when somebody sees them, they look better than they have been presenting themselves. I'm not talking about fake. I'm talking authentically building a brand of a personal nature for their professional career. What would you say to them?
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to break this into two answers. One, you as a business owner, if your objective is to build a personal brand on behalf of your business, and then you as a teammate or an employee of some other organization. So first and foremost, building a personal brand is not being an influencer, going viral, having 1 million views. Building a personal brand is legitimately answering comments in a post, legitimately answering DMs. That's a personal brand. Because what happens is that time is the most valuable currency we all own. So when I share my time with you, I'm giving you something, and people on the other end receive like, wow, I can't believe that this person responded. So your objective when it comes to building a personal brand, and as it relates to making sales, is to do the most basic things, to respond to comments and to DMs. Now there's people who are listening like, nobody's leaving a comment, nobody's leaving a DMs. Then your objective is to give far more than you ever receive. It's like a biblical principle. You want comments, go and leave 10 comments. You want 10 likes, go and leave 100 likes. What we must do is a 10x factor. We must give, and simply give as a form of announcement. Like, hey, I'm here. This is what I do. Now, if I was going to be working for an organization, like let's say I'm going to get a job here at Ramsey, my objective when it comes to social media is to be fully cognizant that social media is a division of who we are. And so if you aren't okay having anybody out on the internet know anything about you, that should not end up on social media. Period. The end. That's it. And it's always very nice. It's always very nice. Is like, if you are a kind person and if you are a caring person, then the entire objective is to have kind and caring. And if you're a fun person, fun posts. That's it. It should be a division of who you are as a person, not who you wish to believe.
Boy,
or not wish to be.
That's really good. What is is there a percentage, and and that's probably not the best way to put it, a rhythm for somebody that has a small business and they've just barely dabbled in social media? Is there, and I don't want to give everything away because I want you folks to know that you need to be engaging with her social curator. They have a membership for business owners. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I do want to make sure that you know that, because for those of you in small business, she can really help. But just from a practical nature, I've got the side hustle. We get this call all the time. And they've only dabbled. Is there a rhythm that just to kind of get that muscle or discipline going that you would recommend?
I'm so glad you chose the word muscle and rhythm.
Okay, great.
Because I akin marketing, let's just siphon it down to social media marketing. I akin marketing to choosing to work out. Now, let's say you and I both want to lose 10 pounds. And you meal plan and you go to the gym every day. And I work out once a week. There's a good chance that you and I will both lose 10 pounds, but you're going to lose it much faster because of the consistency and the dedication that's required to get the results that you want. Likewise, on social media, if you aren't showing up consistently, you're probably not going to get the results. So people who say, I've dabbled, great, that's amazing, good for you. But if you want results, you got to be consistent. You got to do the reps.
Okay, so the follow-up question, I'm hearing people and they're saying, okay, but that's intimidating to me. I get locked up. If I'm going to post something 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, I'm just going to get locked up. Talk to that.
Choose your version of consistency. I believe that once a day is just like any sort of practice. If I wanted to learn a language, if I wanted to write a book, if I wanted to run a marathon, I'd have to do a little bit every day. So I would first and foremost choose, what are you going to do? And maybe for some people, it isn't every day. Maybe it's 4 days a week, fine. But whatever your commitment is, stick to the commitment, show up consistently. And at the end of the day, if you are not talking about your business, your passion, if you're not talking about your nonprofit organization, if you're not talking about your volunteer work, nobody else will. That's it.
Wow. What's a realistic potential for someone who has a side hustle, okay, and they start taking your coaching? And I'm being real here. So they sign up and they become a member, and you start coaching them on their business and bringing in the brand building, the social media strategy. What's realistic for somebody from a growth standpoint if they're consistent and they take the principles you teach?
Well, analytically, statistically, an average growth rate, say on Instagram, is 3% per month. So if you have 100 followers, by the end of next month, you should have 103.
Just organically. Or if you're consistently putting stuff out.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Not using great strategies that you employ. You're just saying that's the average.
Absolutely.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, what we preach and what we want people to know is it's not about vanity metrics.
Right.
And it's not how many followers you have, and it's not if you're viral.
That's good.
Our goal, our baseline is, do you see the needle move in your business?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want more followers, then the objective would be you should be getting coached by an influencer.
Yeah.
Because the strategies are different.
Yeah.
I have seen and I have coached and I've worked with far too many influencers who don't have a funnel or a strategy, that even though they have a ton of people following them, they have a swipe up link, nothing's happening. There's no follow up, there's no conversion, there's no tracking. And so from a brand perspective, it let a hot lead turn cold quickly. Yeah. I love that slow burn.
Okay.
And then that's when the conversions truly happen.
Okay. So it is possible that you can grow your business significantly in 12 months, 6 months.
Oh, absolutely. Wow. Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. And see, that's what I like about what you're doing. And I should point this out. She's not a social media influencer. We're talking about a business where she's helping you grow your business. Real quick, talk about Social Curator and the membership for business owners and what they're going to get out of it. And you just preach this, not what you do, how you help them.
You know, and I think it can, before we go that, and we can absolutely talk about this, but I want to come here as a place to serve.
No,
I want to come here and I want to serve.
You are.
And, okay, so I'm going to give you like the nutshell version. The nutshell version is, how much do you want to work?
Yeah.
Then we could talk about your efforts.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
That's why I like you.
It's 100% that. So what happens is, business owners, we want to give ourselves excuses and we want to walk around with crutches. Yeah. I like to say we have a mountain of crutches on the inside of Social Curator that I light every single day on fire. Because you can say, oh, I can't. And I always respond, do you have 3 minutes? You got time.
Yeah.
Even if it's just 3 minutes, do the work for 3 to 5 minutes. You will see a difference. But the thing comes back down. It's, oh, it's going to take me so long. What's going to happen? It's not going to be enough. Well, I prefer taking one step forward than taking no steps at all.
I love it. That's so good. All right. And again, you're serving, and this is good. But I want to make sure that people understand that you have a service and you can help people. And that's the whole point of this. The other thing is I want people to understand that as you sit here today, you understand the journey of the unknown. And I think from my audience that's listening today, or they're watching, and they're going, okay, I've got this dream to eventually be self-employed. I'm just telling you, from nearly 5,000 phone calls, the greatest fear is the fear of the unknown. So I want you to address that. Somebody's just sitting there going, here's what I do know, that I long to do this work, this business, but I don't know what the path is going to look like, and they're absolutely paralyzed.
Well, I always ask, there's the dichotomy of two fears, the fear of the unknown and the fear of knowing that the path that you're on is unfulfilling and not right for you.
Exactly.
And so we are actively choosing fear. Every day I actively choose fear.
Yeah.
I choose to be afraid that I don't know.
That's good.
The entire vision of this business. But I choose that fear over living a half state or living in a place where I'm acting or being what I think people want me to be, instead of me pursuing the thing that I know I've been called here to do, even if I don't know the end vision of it.
Oh, I love it. So good. All right. So here's what we're doing. I said, hey, I want you to come here, but I also want you to sit in on the calls, and we're going to coach together. This is what I'm excited about. So this is going to be fun. You ready? It's
going to be great. I love it. I feel like this is my power play.
Okay, great. This is very exciting. So we're going to get to the phones, 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. We're going to start it off in Newark, New Jersey. Veronica joins us there. Veronica, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
My question was, I've been out of work for pretty much almost a year now. My background is in training.
What kind of training?
A training specialist, where I'm facilitating training or coordinating the training efforts.
Okay.
Most of my background, I've been in the pharmaceutical industry, and I've just haven't been able to land another opportunity. I've been having some interviews, but still haven't been able to secure a job yet, and I'm just...
You're discouraged.
It's getting kind of, getting kind of frustrating. I'm tired of sitting home. I want to go back to work. I want to be back in the office.
How are you doing financially? Let's just get where your baseline is. Are you struggling? How are you keeping things going?
I'm not struggling. It's just kind of mellow. Of course, I can't, do anything extra that I like to do. Just sort of.
So are you holding down
maintaining-
like a part-time job or something? That's what I'm wondering. Like, how are you bringing in income?
No, well, I'm just from my unemployment, and then I sell Avon.
Okay, great.
So
Okay, great. So we're not in a crisis yet, but we need to get the income going pretty soon. Is that what I'm hearing?
yes.
Okay, great. Have you been applying for jobs in your field, the training stuff in the pharma field, or are you going outside of that field? What are you interviewing for?
I've been applying for training jobs, but not necessarily in a pharmaceutical industry. I wanted to try to step away from that industry and
Good.
go into another area because, unfortunately, with pharma, a lot of times they merge and there's always this reorganization. So I want to try to step away from that and find something else.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you
Veronica, what in your dream world you want to train? What do you want to train on?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I've never really thought of it in too much just of Pacific, but I kind of like developing stuff and being able to train people on it to, help them to be able to streamline better and
so
do
you
things
get
more efficiently.
So you really get the juice out of the instruction. If we just break training and take all this professional jargon out of there, at the end of the day, you light up when you are instructing people, giving them something they need to win. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so the good news is, Veronica, you're clear. You're in stage 1, get clear. I think you're qualified. That's stage 2. I think the challenge that you've got right now is you're going about the interview process, tell me if I'm wrong, the traditional way. And you're submitting resumes, you're getting rejected, ignored in some cases, you're getting a few interviews, but you're not breaking through. Is that a fair assessment of where you sit today?
That is correct.
Okay, great. So let me just tell you something right now. I wrote an entire book on this, and it is stage 3 of the 7 stages. It's all about getting connected. Veronica, you are talented at training, yes or no?
Yes.
Veronica, you are experienced at training, yes or no?
Yes.
All right, you're playing the job lottery, and we know what the percentages are on lottery. This is all about connections. Within pharma, outside of pharma, you have got a ton of relationships out there in the world that can vouch for how good of a trainer you are. True or false?
True.
You are leveraging those relationships. I'm going to bring Jasmine in here because she gets this. This is much like building a brand. This is about, she's got to take the bull by the horns here, Jasmine, and reach out to those people and go, hey, there's no shame in my game. I'm a pro.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to go.
Tag me.
I need your help.
Let me get in the ring.
Go.
Let me get in the ring. Okay, Veronica, girl,
Yes.
give me 30 seconds, because what Ken wants you to do is go to a pre-existing audience, and he wants you to leverage those relationships, and that's brilliant and that's amazing. But what do we do about the hundreds of thousands of people who could potentially hire you to train? But if you're like, I don't know what I want to train about, but you know the systems of training, what I would love for you to do is go on Instagram, go on TikTok, or go on Facebook, wherever you think the company who needs to hire Veronica.
Yep.
Where is that company? Do you think that they're on LinkedIn? Do you think they're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok? Just pick one platform. Do not get overwhelmed. And then all I want you to do, Veronica, is I want you to show up and be Veronica. Yes, I want you to show how talented you are and how smart you are. And you're like, have you ever wondered what it feels like to create a training manual for the first 5 hires of your business? Here are the first 5 steps you need to do. Second piece of content, either written, video, or in stories. What happens when your team expands from 20 to 30? What kind of systems need to be in place, as you said, in a different tier of management or division directors? How do you train those people? What you're going to be doing. Veronica, I could see you, queen. Jersey, raining bright. What you're going to do is you're going to go on stories, you're going to go on reels, and all you have to do is literally point to the points that you want. How to set up a training manual. Step number 1, find the objection. Step number 2, where will it be hosted? Step number 3, what are the objections that you must address? Girl, all you need to do is share your brilliance. You put it out on the web, and then once you do what Ken is asking you to do, go and leverage pre-existing relationships. And when they follow up, hey, how's that Veronica girl doing? And they see your profile on LinkedIn and they see this amazing training content that you have been put out undauntedly, they're going to say, this is the queen we need to reign our kingdom. That's it.
That's it. It's absolutely it. Veronica,
Wow.
you feel that, don't you?
Yes.
Can I just tell you what you got an injection of? Gumption. See, it's okay to realize that you're down right now. You're down. And the reality is none of that has changed the fact that you have a lot to offer. And Jasmine's absolutely right. It's social. It's, by the way, the same stuff she wants you to do for social, you take that to all your connections and go, hey, here's the deal. Here's what I got to offer. You know anybody that's looking for somebody like me that can come in, and I am Obi-Wan Kenobi, day one. I know how to train Jedis. That's the deal. That's what you just heard. Hey, quick practical question. Have you been to ZipRecruiter?
I have, but a lot of times when I go on there, it seems like to be a lot of temporary agencies.
That's fine. Here's my point. I just want to make sure you're leveraging everything you have at your disposal. This isn't a one thing. It's what Jasmine just shared on social. It's to your direct connections and acquaintances, by the way, and then also all of those job sites where you're putting yourself out there and let somebody work for you. Here's what I know, Veronica. The best is yet to be for you, but you're going to have to decide right now, am I going to be denied? And if the answer is without question, no, I'm not going to be denied, then you get busy. You've got to just get over this hump. And the busier you are, and it's not submitting resumes, it's sharing a story, a narrative. We hear this a lot. And it's tough because people get in a situation where they've been not employing good strategies. They've had some opportunities, and every time they get an opportunity and they don't get it, it is personal. Whether we don't want it to be or not, it feels personal.
Well, I've chosen to believe it takes just as much energy for me to believe that something is personal. And I don't look at no's as no's.
That's right.
I look at them as not right now.
Yeah. Not here.
I firmly believe it. I
That's
firmly
it.
believe, like Veronica, if there is an organization that says that Veronica's not the trainer for them at this moment, well, it's just not right now. And I always firmly believe that action is the antidote to fear. I didn't come up with that saying. I don't know who did.
Yeah, it's a
but
good
what
one.
happens is that we sit here stuck wondering what to do.
Yeah.
Do anything.
Yeah.
It is so much better to do something and realize that it was the wrong path because it's ultimately guiding you to the right one. So all I want Veronica to do is work, create every single day, to create before Veronica consumes.
Yeah.
She does that. I promise you, 30 days. It's going to be life-changing.
Yeah. I love it. But you see, she's got that whole tough love coach thing going on too. You can't wallow in the no, because no is final. Mm-hmm. Not here, not yet, not now. That's not final.
But also, how many
That's the
times have
key.
you said no to something? Said no to a Diet Coke, said no to a pair of running shoes, said no to go on a cruise, said no to things.
It's interesting you picked 3 things that I love to say no to. All 3 of those things. I don't know how she knew that. I hate Diet Coke, I hate to run, and I don't like cruises either.
Okay, so
That's good.
Here's the thing. The objective would be that if I had a pair of running shoes, my objective isn't to have you buy my running shoes. My objective is to get over any oppositions or stories that you're telling yourself. So all I have to do is when you say, no, I don't want running shoes, I say, not right now. But when you find a good cause that you want to run for, who are you going to buy the shoes from?
I love it.
When you are 67 years old and your best friend say, Ken, it's time for us to go on a cruise.
Yeah.
You're probably going to want some orthopedic walkers. I guess what?
I love how you tie that all together.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I see a future, thanks to Jasmine, where I'm sipping a Diet Coke on the deck of a cruise ship wearing my orthopedic running shoes. She just overcame all of my objections. I love it. Hey, speaking of helping you, here's the reality. We just heard of Veronica's call that there's a whole lot of yuck and suck when it comes to just putting yourself out there. It's like you're going to face some rejection. You're going to face crickets, not even no's. You put yourself out there and you don't even hear a response. That's why I endorse ZipRecruiter, #1 job site in the United States. Their candidates are 3 times as likely to get gigs. Here's why. They keep you up to date on what's going on with everything they do for you. The minute you fill out a profile, they begin matching up your profile with jobs that are actually open, and they're pitching you. They give you updates when you get looks, likes, and requests for your contact information. The best part is it's free. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's an absolute tool to go in the tool belt. Beyond everything else we teach you here, go to ZipRecruiter.com/Ken today. It's free. Did I mention that it's free? I'm not asking you to buy something. I'm asking you to do something that can help you. ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Okay, quick break. When we come back, Jasmine's still with me. We get to your calls. Don't move. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
Our world is changing, but so are we. Now, we see a smile through someone's eyes. We conquer our struggles and cherish each moment. because we are shielded through faith and assured by hope. And greatest of all, we love. The world is different, but so are we.
All right, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you discover and do what you were born to do. Is it possible for you to make a lot of money or enough money and experience meaning? It is. This is not a pipe dream. It's right there for you. If you are using what you do best to do work you love, to produce results that matter to you, I got news for you. You're in the dream job. Whether you are a school teacher or you are a missionary or you are a physicist, I'm telling you, you have a unique role and the world needs you to show up and do it. So this whole conversation isn't about you. It's actually about others. And my friend and just unbelievable entrepreneur, social media guru, the founder of Social Curator, and all the things, Jasmine Starr joins me in town from Southern California to be a part of my colleague Christy Wright's event this weekend, Business Boutique. You're going to bring it on the stage.
That's the plan.
What are you going to drop on those ladies?
We're going to talk about marketing, and we're going to talk about getting your content seen. A lot of times people feel victimized by the algorithm.
Yeah.
And I just dropped my phone, but I'm not going to be victimized by that sound. I'm just going to keep on talking over it.
Flawless.
I mean,
it's live. It's live
like,
television. It happens.
People are going to hear the audio and they're like, what did Ken just do to her? I'm like, oh, no.
You were dropping the mic.
Dropping the mic.
Literally.
No. This
That
is
was
Ramsey.
the fun.
Your mics are very expensive, and I'm not dropping those.
Thank you very much.
So, talking about really showing up, talking about your business, and being okay being you.
Yeah.
Like you had said, we all have a purpose to share. And if we have the ability to stand in our purpose and make money doing it, why not at least try?
Yeah, awesome stuff. So she's joining me today to take your calls, 844-747-2577. Tell people where they can connect with you.
On social media at Jasmine Starr and socialcurator.com.
There it is. All right, back to the phones we go. Orlando, Florida is where Stephen awaits. Stephen, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Good afternoon, guys. How are you doing, Ken and Jasmine?
We are living the dream. What are you doing?
I needed to call you guys. I really needed this.
Good.
Okay, so I apologize if it's lengthy. Let me know.
Don't apologize. Lay it out there.
Okay, so basically I work with automotive in the automotive industry. I work close to 60 to 80 hours a week. This is not my sweet spot. This is not what I moved into mainland for. I wanted to do graphic design. Now, as we all know, inflation is kicking in and whatnot, so I'm worried about, the reality that I can actually do what I want, which is graphic design. But I struggle with the fact that, inflation and whatnot. So I'm like, you know what?
All right, hold on. Steven, let me jump in, okay?
Okay.
What does inflation have to do with you getting qualified, getting connected, and getting started, stage 2, 3, 4, into graphic design? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I really want to know what you think the answer to that is. What does inflation have to do with that?
Because I don't want to do what I want, because I feel insecure about my finances, even though I'm in baby step 3. So therefore, I kind of just suck it up and say, this is good enough money, so I don't dare going out.
So let me ask you this. How much money do you make right now? Are you a mechanic?
No. Well, a light mechanic, if anything.
What do you make right now? Salary, hourly? Give me a 12-month range.
Hourly, I make $19.50, and a week, more or less, because of the many hours, around $1,000 a week. Okay.
Right. So you're yearly, you're out 38,000, 40,000?
Around there.
Okay, great. All right. So what I'm hearing is that you're afraid to pursue graphic design because of the cost and the economy and how toilet paper is more expensive, gas is more expensive, a combo meal is more expensive. That to me is irrelevant. Can we replace your $40,000 a year in graphic design? What's the answer to that?
Yes.
Yes. Jasmine, you want to weigh in on this?
I do, because Stephen, I know that you are working a lot. It's just facts.
Yeah.
60 to 80 hours a week. But I have to tell you that oftentimes business owners will not want to work 40 hours for somebody else and then end up working 100 hours a week for themselves. So let's not have a misnomer.
Yep.
And then secondly, I don't know how long it would take for you to create a piece of content every single day.
Oh, let's stay right there. What would the content be? This is great, so I'm jumping in. What would you create every single day from a graphic design standpoint right now? What would you create?
So here's the funny thing for both of you guys. So I was doing illustration work. I even got requests from people, over the internet. I actually got to, have a little taste of what my own little business would be. I went as far, guys, as to purchase an iMac, graphic tablet, and I told myself, I kid you not, this is kind of like chronic. I told myself, you know what? These are just dreams. Pack it up, and I return everything back.
You didn't? Okay, but Steven, I love your heart, bro. You started to answer the question, and you wandered. What would you create every day right now? You know you love this type of art. Let's just call this what this is. Graphic design is art. What would you create right now? You started to answer it. What would you do, or what did you do?
I used to do logos. I used to do print work on T-shirt design. Yeah, a whole lot of that.
Okay, Steven, I'm just going to tell you, this is a total vibe. So I'm going to infer, and forgive me if I overstep my bounds, but I'm not really wrong on this because this is what I do. I think you have a hard time identifying what it is you want to do because you don't know who you want to sell to.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, Steven, you will have the utmost clarity on what it is you want to do. So with no rules, I'm going to put you under the gun right now. This is the Ken Coleman Show. This is no room for excuses. And you can change your response after this. But right now, in a dream world, tomorrow you wake up, who are you working for? Yep. Just pick somebody that we might know. Who are you working for? And what are you doing for that person? Sell it to me. You got to sell it to me in 10 seconds because you know, so say it out loud.
Oh, my goodness.
Say it. By the way, she already got you to think of an answer, and you're just not saying it. When she set you up, there was an answer at the front of your lobe. Say it. Just say it. Go.
Graphic novels, comic books, and the entertainment industry.
Okay, what are you ashamed of? Because you're ashamed of it. I know it. I hear it all over you. So let's own this because we can't go any further until you own what you're ashamed of about that answer.
Well,
it's okay. Say it. What are you embarrassed about or shame? Am I wrong? I'm okay being wrong. Am I wrong that there's a little bit of embarrassment or shame or something there?
Yeah.
I'm wrong or I'm right?
No, you're not wrong.
I know. I've done this a few times. So what are you ashamed of? Let's own this right now, and then we're going to get breakthrough. What is it?
Because I guess it's not the kind of work that, the men in my family do.
Okay. Dude.
So, yeah.
Listen to me. Listen to me. That's breakthrough. You have the talent to do graphic design, true or false?
Yeah.
When you do it, time stands still and your heart expands to the point that you don't even know how to describe it. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes, sir.
You love creating aha moments for people, whether it be entertaining them, capturing their attention, or making them proud with your design. True or false?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that's coming from somewhere? It is. You were created to do that. Do you believe that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, I don't care what your dad or your uncle Larry or anybody else in your family thinks about that. If you don't own this shame and embarrassment, the very people you're afraid of disappointing are going to be people that you resent deeply. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Steven, can I ask are you Latino?
Yes.
I know. Okay. So from a Mexican, my dad is Mexican, my mom is Puerto Rican. I get the Latino culture of what men are typically classified to do. And I want you to know that they're going to have an opinion, Steven. Do you not think that your dad, your uncle, your grandfather, your cousins see your talent and see you sitting on it and they're just begging you to fight for it? And at the end of the day, Steven, they are always doubters and unbelievers until they become believers. That's it. And the only person who can guide them over the bridge from doubt to belief is you. They're actually wanting you to do it. They won't tell you that. So what they're going to do is, because they love you, I believe your family loves you, Stephen, and because they love you, they want to keep you safe. And they think that keeping you safe is to keep you do your automotive job, get the job that pays the bills, the family got here, this is what we have to do, we have to be responsible. And you know what, Stephen? I want you to be responsible. I want you to be so stinking responsible. And it's so responsible that you wake up 30 minutes early, you bring out a sketch pad, and you sketch. And what you do, Stephen, is underneath the tungsten lighting by a bed lamp by your bed, you take a picture of a daily sketch. And your project, Stephen, for the next 30 days is to prove to yourself. I don't give a rip if anybody likes it or leaves a comment. Your objective, Stephen, is to prove you want it. Because, Stephen, there's a one thing about dreaming about it, and then there's another thing about doing it. If you do not have the discipline, Stephen, to sketch every single day, I'm going to tell you, Stephen, you don't want it bad enough.
Oh, yeah.
But I know you do.
Yes, you do.
And you want to know what, Stephen? You know that your cousins and your father and everybody else, they're going to look at this and be like, what does he think he's doing? Yeah. And that's going to make you want to stop.
That's right. And you got to know that they're speaking from fear.
That's right.
They're not just afraid for you. They have their own fears. They never chased their dreams, and they're dealing with those nightmares, and they're projecting that on you. I'm going to tell you. Now, Jasmine gave you a great homework assignment. I've got a couple more. You ready? I want you to do exactly what Jasmine told you to do. That's going to get your heart pumping again, and the passion is going to overcome the fear. But here's what else I want you to do. I want you to find as many graphic design listings, job openings as possible. This is just information gathering. I'm not telling you to apply yet. I'm telling you to get out there and look at it and do your homework. You must overcome this false narrative that you can't replace your current automotive $40,000 a year income in graphic design. You must see that you can make that and more. And then we go, okay, what do I need to do to get qualified? I'm probably already qualified, but if I've got to get qualified, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to bust it as I'm busting it right now, 60, 80 hours a week. And I'm not going to get tired because I know that this gig right now is keeping me on the platform to step, not jump, step into the next opportunity. So we got to find what's out there. Then you prove it to yourself that I can make 40 or more in graphic design, and I'm going to get qualified for it. Then I'm going to get connected. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to get the gig. Now, one other thing I want you to buy, it's probably less than $15. It's a friend of mine by the name of Austin Kleon, best-selling author out of Austin, Texas. He's got a great book. In fact, 2 books I want you to get. One is Steal Like an Artist, and I want you as an artist to be consuming other graphic designers that you admire. And it's going to fire you up, and it's going to help with the exercise that Jasmine gave you. Second book he wrote, super thin books. You can read them in 10 minutes. Show your work. Because coming out of my friend's assignment, I want you to start showing your work, start producing. That's what she was saying. Put it out there. Put it out there. Get some freelance gigs. Put it out there with pride. And Stephen, before you know it, you're going to look up and you're on the path to doing what you were created to do. There is no shame in your game. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, Stephen, thank you so much for calling us. Thank you for trusting us.
Can I add something at the end?
I want you to add
Am
whatever.
I jumping in?
No.
Am I like,
I was
welcome
just
to the
kidding.
Jasmine Starr Show, my guest today
No,
is
you
Ken
are
Coleman.
my guest. She is Jasmine Starr. but yeah, because I want to reflect on something we heard there and you touched on. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
I want to tell Stephen and anybody else who's listening
Come
to
on.
resist the temptation to put a timeline on it.
I agree with that.
So what happens is we put a timeline on when we expect our miracles to unveil.
Yeah, that's a guarantee for frustration.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's going to be so important that we disassociate ourselves with our finite expectation. Because everything that Stephen is doing now is preparing him for the thing that he wants in the future. But what if Stephen's destiny was in a decade and not in a day?
That's my journey, 10 years.
Absolutely. I think it's
10 years to
everybody's
get to this.
But it's everybody's journey.
I
And
know.
yet we look at it and be like, that must have happened to Ken in 10 days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so it's so important for us to step into
That's
the
it.
thing that we have been called to do
I love
and
it.
want something mighty and great, something that's beyond ourselves. Because I think that if we did it entirely on our own, wouldn't that not be the case for us to be tempted to think that it wasn't some sort of bigger purpose, divine providence, something outside of ourselves that was speaking into us, that was calling us to do it? So the goal is to look back at something and be like, I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Well, it had to have happened. The pitfalls, the frustrations, the anxiety had to happen so that you know that you're standing in your purpose to do something bigger and greater. That's on the back of that.
And folks, I hope you heard what Stephen said. He is not and has not pursued this to his full potential because he's so worried about what other people think, and even the people that are closest to him. And I'm telling you, I've heard this a million times. I've heard it a million times. And if you're not careful, you will not be who you were created to be because you are worried about what other people think. And I'm telling you, it keeps more people on the sideline than anything else I hear. What will other people say and think? And the reality is, that's none of your business. Be who you were created to be. To my friend Jasmine Starr, I had a blast. Will you come back next time you're in Nash Vegas? Sit in studio? You will?
Absolutely.
All right. I had a lot of fun. She's amazing. Again, I want you to follow her at Jasmine Starr on all of the social, certainly Instagram. She is the founder of Social Curator. Socialcurator.com is the website. She brings tremendous value. I think she'll help a lot of people. I know you encouraged me today. I enjoyed it thoroughly, teaming up and locking arms. For the rest of you, I got to get out of here. But before I do, remember this. You matter, and you do have what it takes. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.